sorry. Yeah, so these were later converted into dog kennels in the late 70s. I mean, this building and some that I'll show you, even the house is from the Second World War. And I'll even show you more buildings later. So they were then reconstructed for the dogs. As you can see here, like these small cubicles. They had to break the walls when the exhibition was over. So I'd like to now get to show you where the house is and what it all looks like. The defense of the coast. And even in this day and time, as I understand, it is still a vital point as a military base if there could be any other world war that could outbreak in this day and time. So being on tour here, you know, nothing would happen, but it's just what the Army experts view as to how the island is critical of its geographical location. So this is now part of our heritage department and environment. These are also old World War II buildings. Later we'll also get to see some of the army. Yes, this is the lime quarry. So the responsibility the leaders had, it was to break the wall on a daily basis using manual tools. So from pickaxe, chisel, shovels, those kind of equipment. They had to break the lime, load into the steel wheelbarrows and into the trucks as it had to be circulated around here. But you had to be here for about 9 hours each day, Monday to Friday. And as earlier I said, there was a huge difference between criminals and political prisoners. It is more of the political prisoners that had a much harder time on Robben Island. Even the work here, it wasn't necessary. But the guards made sure that as part of their punishment, this is what they had to go through as under their grind. And the cave you see under there, that cave was used as a toilet. So for the 9-hour duration you worked here, you had no choice. That is what you had to, if you needed to answer nature's call. So at the time, we never had more than 40 prisoners working in the site. But it was also just to dehumanize them. See, the guards here, as part of their training, they had a special training if they were coming here, which was more to kill their conscience and their emotions as dealing with political prisoners especially. And you know, the areas were always heavily secured, worse when the dogs were introduced. And as a result, nobody escaped from Robben Island during the apartheid period. Often they thought about it. And I'm sure any of you, if you were held in such circumstances, you would have thought about escape. But as prisoners highlight, you had the guards to overcome, the dogs, you had the long distance if you were going to swim. The distance you've come is about 12 kilometers. Let alone the water is extremely cold, and there are also sharks, great white sharks in the area. And you know, you'd think about it, but it was more seen as suicidal.
Didn't one prisoner originally escape?
Only one prisoner escaped, but that was during the Dutch period.
Right.
And it was the Khoikhoi leader known as Ochumato, with a few warriors, but he was the prominent leader at that time. They were able to overthrow the Dutch guards, and they stole one of the rowing boats. So they sailed a close distance across where you see the beach and houses. That area is known as Blobekstrand. So that is 7 kilometers. But heading to the waterfront is approximately 12 kilometers. So it's now since 2005, we've been hosting the Robben Island annual charity swim. But
Nobody wants to do it.
none of the prisoners. And my mother's greatest concern is the fact that I can't swim. And I come here by boat on a daily basis. Yeah, we have houses here. As a staff member, you can live on the island if you want to. But I've been staying in the townships for my entire life. I've stayed here in 2007. That was only in the summer. Just this late December, from the depths of his heart. On the many occasions he has been here. And I've had the opportunity to have met him several times. In all his speeches, he has never forgotten to make mention of the role that the international community played Their lawyers were the ones that fed them that information of activities that were happening outside. The money that was raised by organizations and individuals that donated. So all of those activities, as they were aware, it gave them hope that one day they were going to be released here. But based on those political discussions they had, the major concern was about South Africa's future governance, how they were going to be able to, have that kind of code of conduct to govern South Africa in the future. There were political educational classes held here. After the International Red Cross and Amnesty visited, they were able to engage in far distant learning programs, especially for the youngsters that were here. And you'd find that some of them that took that opportunity under those kind of conditions. But now it's called the Church of the Good Shepherd. And the convicts prison, you see it here on the left side further up. That's where criminals were kept. But if you have been to San Francisco, to Alcatraz prison, we have those kind of criminals you would compare to those that were also here. Murderers, drug lords, or those kind of extreme rapists and danger to society kind of criminals. But it's now been renovated into an education center, religious backgrounds. But I understand that there was a high level of tolerance and understanding amongst them because they were all here for the same common cause. But now the church is used by residents living on the island. And we've also made it available to the public. This is since early 2000. Anyone can come to Robben Island to get married here on Valentine's Day. That is the day that has been chosen on our calendar. This year we had 23 couples. So this is the school here on the right side, from grade 1 to 7. And this year we have 18 learners. Some live here, but others commute on a daily basis. It's like any public school.
Cable one.
Yeah, so we have Springboks, Bonterboks, and Fishboks that we introduced here with the guards in the apartheid period for hunting. And the most interesting, when you see the image of table mountain, it looks like a human body. More structures from the wall to the left.
चला
तुमच्याकडे काही आहे का ना
हाँ
रँड वगैरे चार
JALA. I was a political prisoner here in Robben Island from 1977 to 1982. So in other words, I served 5 years in Robben Island prison. Where we are now, this was the main entrance. When the prisoners arrive from the harbor, they be accompanied by warders and they came through this road. Okay. Please come inside. Of group cells. So from here we will go to one of the single cell sections. We will go to B section to go and see Mr. Mandela's cell. And then from B section, we will go to A section. In A section, in each cell, there's a photo of a prisoner who was in that cell. And then in some of the cells, there are also messages. And then from A section, I will take you to one of the group cell sections. Okay. Anyone with a question? Before 1978, that section, that was A section, and this was B section, used to be just one section. And then in 1978, the authorities identified a group of people from the people that arrived in 1977, people they regarded as being influential. And they took them away from the group cells because, as they said, they didn't want them to influence other prisoners. And then they put them in that part of the section. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mandela's cell. Okay. That's Mr. Mandela's cell.
these are the cells. This was the cell where Mr. Mandela. Mr. Mandela was there for 18 years.
Yes, okay. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, because of the time, you won't be able to read all those messages. You might not be able to go to all the cells. So I'm going to give you about 5 to 10 minutes just to move around the section, and then from there we'll go to one of the group cell sections, okay? Anyone with a question before we go?
Our boat leaves at 4 o'clock.
No, don't worry about the
4:50.
boat.
No?
No, don't worry.